Hey, just as I thought that the pet professional guild can't get any worse. I don't know if this person, Anna Jane Grossman, is with alive anymore or anything. Some of this is I don't know why it's on here if they're not involved with dog training anymore. So, like, if I click on this link here, why are we still putting shock collars on dogs by Anna Jane Grossman? Um, the link doesn't work. And this is underneath at Pet Professional Guild training resources for pet owners. So when I click here, though, by Anna Jane Grossman, how humans and dogs can learn and suffer from the negative, from use of negative reinforcement. Now I am not sure. Again, now this is on the Huffington Post, right? Anna Jane Grossman. I want to see. I didn't click on that. You're seeing it as I go. Um, or obviously she writes some kind of political stuff. I don't want to get into that. But every time I read about waterboarding, I cringe. Now this is about dogs, all right? It's just because I'm a dog trainer. I can't help but think about the similar this reviled torture method is to some of the things we do to dogs. She goes, I've written a good deal on my site, which when I click on here, brings me here. So I don't think she's dog training anymore. Most of the time when you're dealing with positively force-free dog trainers, are so nasty to us other regular dog trainers because their positively force-free fallacy does not work on the dogs. So they go out of business. But mostly, she goes, I discussed the use of shock collars to stop behaviors such as running out of the yard, barking, going in the wrong direction, while assisting a hunter. Uh, the fallout is often not worth the benefit. So again, this is where she's grouping together that our military and police, they use the same remote collars in the same way that we use them. Um, Most of the time, though, we're using them on a less level than the military and police are, but they got a higher drive dog. But she's grouping them together and saying that these dogs have fallout. Um, my dogs, you see them on remote collar, no fallout, none at all. She goes on. I'm reading this for the first time here, but I saw this part here. And I was like, let me go live. Videotape this because this is crazy as a reaction video. She says that another example of negative reinforcement is waterboarding, the torture procedure that involves holding a wet cloth over someone's mouth until they beg for mercy. Apparently, the experience feels a lot like drowning. Here is the late Christopher Hitchens going through the waterboarding procedure. I don't know what she's comparing that to any type of dog training style or the tools or like remote collar. Should I use the word shock collar or prong collar or any of these? Like or a harness? Like where is she going with this? Because waterboarding has nothing to do with teaching a dog a heel using slight pressure from a prong collar or a remote collar or the pressure from a gentle leader. Like a gentle leader would be more in lines with the pressure on waterboarding, but it's hard to compare the two. So here we go. The desired behavior, telling persecutors what they want to hear, will result in taking away the negative or something bad feeling of drowning. And it works every time. The torturers are reinforced. They got what they wanted. Ba, ba, ba. So she's trying to bring in, I guess, the politics of waterboarding with negative reinforcement for dog training. But here she goes. Of course, most of the collars we're talking operate via remote, so you need not be close to your dog to feel the shock. Again, they're trying to say the word shock as it's like some kind of taser, or it's the same type of shock you get from an electrical outlet if you were to put your finger in an electrical outlet or a piece of metal. It is not. It's the same technology as a TENS unit, where it stimulates your nerves and muscles that you have in sports medicine. So this is why I like to be very clear on what's going on in the dog training world, not to push propaganda, and make sure that the consumer and the owner of the dogs understand what it is. They're, like, I can sit there and call a harness a torture device and write an article on it. Right? It wouldn't be true, but I can say that it is, just like she's saying it. Nothing she's saying is true about the remote collar. So, in an excellent post on problems with shock collars by Eileen of the site Eileen and Dogs, which we'll click and see if that works. How shock collar works. Okay, let's see. I haven't seen this yet, so I don't know what.
How shock collar training works for getting behaviors. Shock collar trainers usually use brief shocks to cause dogs to stop doing a behavior. But when a shock collar is used to teach a dog to do something, the shock is turned on and kept on until the dog figures out what to do and does it. It is not a brief shock, it is continuous. The trainer may help the dog figure out the behavior by pushing on her body, pulling on the leash, or saying a word the dog may or may not know. The following clips show typical reactions from a dog being trained with a shock collar to get on a platform. All of the behaviors demonstrated by the stuffed dog can be found being done by real dogs on YouTube who are being trained with shock. The dog is usually on a long line.
I thought I was going to see a real dog here, but...
The trainer may give no clue as to what is wanted. The dog may even be afraid of the platform.
See, look how they make these hypotheticals up. The trainer may give no clue, but I'll make that up about a positive reinforcement dog trainer then. The trainer was picking his nose and just slammed the leash around as it was on a gentle leader and body slammed the dog onto the placemat. They may do that. We don't know yet. Let's see. Like, what the hell are you talking about? They set you up so that you will automatically think something negative about something. Be smart, people. Really analyze the stuff.
The dog is brought to the platform and the shock is turned on. The dog's first reaction is often to try to escape.
Not true. Not true. So what we're doing when we first dog train the dog, we use a martingale or a prong collar and teach them to go onto the platform or a placemat. Then we layer in low-level remote communication at that point. This guy here is just hitting buttons in hopes that the dog figures it out. That's not... Dog trainers are not training that way. They're not. That's like somebody having... it's hard to say. If they start making some kind of remote collar harness and just holding the button down for no reason. Nobody's doing this. But they want you to think that this is happening. And why are they using it in a fake dog? I have videos on AFT dog training with real dogs.
The trainer forces the dog to come back.
And see how well that is. This is probably one of the worst videos I've ever seen on explaining stuff. Whoever made this video is a damn moron.
With another leash pull.
Eileen,
Often the dog
whatever dog, moron, man. I don't care if she has a PhD or anything.
Appeal to the trainer.
Oh, the Gene Donaldson humping video. Is that what she's showing
This
there?
doesn't work either.
Use a real dog, man. That's why I say positively force-free dog trainers, they hardly use... you can't find any videos of them actually doing their work.
She's afraid.
They can't even show this video.
Now the trainer can claim that she trains with praise.
Now they can't even show a video. There's plenty out there of this being successfully done with remote collar.
Please visit
what did they choose to do? Use a fake dog and make it look like it's some kind of torture device with the freaking waterboarding. Unbelievable, man. Now look, they use a real dog for theirs. Do you see how Eileen's a scam artist? This is first session. I'm not buying anything you say. I'm not buying anything you say. What do you have? A pure breed Malinois here? Or well, I can't tell from it. Yeah,
Yes.
dogs genetically made to do things. I want you to take your regular pity from the animal shelter and do this on the first session. Even if this is the first session, I have no idea. I'm glad that they're
Yes,
going to completely
you're,
naked. So this is force-free dog training here.
Yes.
If they do remove the treat at all and not give it to the dog at the first time, then that would be negative punishment.
Okay.
So, I mean, they're using positive reinforcement, negative punishment. But, wow, they use a real dog in that instance. So, I want to see if I'm able... Let me see what's going on here. I want to see videos of you doing stuff. There is none. Well, we've seen a video with a fake dog. We've seen waterboarding. So this is on Pet Professionals Guild for pet owners. So this is where I have colleagues of mine that they think that, you know, these organizations, you know, just because they use their remote collar and a prong collar, but they never really are outspoken about it and they're left alone. And this is what you're up against, and they're coming for you. Look at all this stuff on anti-collar, head halty, prong collar, remote collar, any type of leadership with dogs. It's all on here. And these people, some of them somehow are a doctor. And that's why you can't always, when it comes to, like, doctors in our medical field are different than doctors in the animal field. All right? And animal behavior field. I'll clear that up. So veterinarians, of course, know more about doing surgeries and what's in the medical needs of the dog. They do not know anything about dog training or nutrition, most of them. Doctors in the human world, you have doctors that practice on surgeries, and me, myself, going through everything I'm going through, have been through the ringer. With one doctor, neurosurgeon, saying something, and another doctor saying something completely different, and another doctor saying something completely different, and all of them are contradicting each other. So just because somebody says PhD at the end of their name does not make them an educated person. All right? So you have to go and look for their evidence. So what I'm doing even with my own health is looking at their evidence, looking at their reviews, seeing if I'm getting this type of back surgery, making sure that they're successful at it. When you're dealing with animal behavior PhDs, you're talking to somebody that went to college, they've studied some dogs in a controlled environment most of the time, and did some studies. They never actually dog trained every single day. They didn't work with thousands of dogs like a lot of dog trainers like myself have. They don't, in the controlled studies that they worked with, if they even used remote collar, they were using it incorrectly so that they can write the study that they want. And in this day and age, there should be videos of all of these studies. I want to see it. The owners should see it. Look at all of these videos. Articles here. There should be videos attached to it. Let's check this out. So even when I go and clicked on these videos, let's see what this is.
All right, guys, we're back with grants. We're just going to give a short little thing, and I know we talk about this all the time, you guys. But When we're training the
Oh
dog,
no, I don't even know. This lady's nuts. But she uses Vibrate a lot with the dog training. What works for some dogs. It's not working with all the dogs, man. I use Vibrate differently. I use it as a disruption and for focus. You know. But yeah, it seems like this video is missing. That's the video that I wanted to see. So, yeah, just make sure you look for this stuff, man. It is, you know, at least there's the videos that I've got. There was a waterboarding, and the videos I got on Positive Only has been horrendous. There's somebody that trains police dogs with using Positive Only. BS, dude. BS. I want to go to like, I mean, look at this website. Do you actually think somebody's training Positive Only with the police dogs? That is such a lie and fallacy. It's a disservice to our military and police dogs. Let's see. A lot of these articles are just really nonsense. No videos, man. Anybody could write anything. This is what I'm saying, that the human effects on negative reinforcement. My one son, he doesn't want to go to school. And we've all been there. And you can explain in a positive manner how going to school is going to help educate, and you can work hard and have things like we have now, but it's going to take a lot of work. I don't care. He doesn't want to go to school. Negative reinforcement. So they want you to remove negative reinforcement from all human world too. But everyone should be kind of like, really, if you're a remote collar or prong collar dog trainer, you really should be highly involved with being upset with Pet Professional Guild having all this nonsense on their website, man. I mean, just nonsense. It's, you know, Ian Dunbar stuff. And then they get into the science talk of classical and opera conditioning, and they all are they're the ones doing the adding in the bad behaviors and are using the positive punishments or negative reinforcements. And they're not conditioning the dog properly, as we've seen with Gene Donaldson, just slapping on a head halty or gentle leader, as we've seen with Victoria Stilwell doing the same thing. And that was Ian Dunbar writing that video, as we've seen with Ian Dunbar screaming at a dog to force fear into them. You know, we can start writing our own articles. And that's part of what this series I'm doing is about. Is somebody has to start talking back. You know, Pat Miller, she wrote books on dog stuff. You really can't find any videos of her. I want to show you. Pat Miller, we're going to go to YouTube. And we're going to look up Pat Miller dog training videos. Talking. We don't want to see talking. It's not Pat Miller. It's Pat somebody else. As we see, there's no videos. There's no videos of her dog training. Why? If you had the secret magic, why wouldn't you show it? If your concern was remote collars, and as you put it, shock collars being such a concern to the animal community, why wouldn't you show videos of what you're trying to achieve? We show the videos. We've helped a lot of people with dog training by just watching our videos. So, not good. Another video of just nonsense. Waterboarding is compared to using a prong collar. That's this person here, but I can't find, I'm hoping everybody that I mentioned is still alive and living on this earth. I don't know these people. I'm just going off of the articles on the Pet Professional Guild. If nobody is, they should put like a rest in peace thing or something. I'm not here to where they can't speak on any of the stuff that I'm talking about. It's just listed on Pet Professional Guild's website, and I'm bringing it up because it's here. It should not be here. All of this should be removed because none of it, this is all opinion. Nothing's backed by science. So all of that should be removed, and then they should put some scientific information in there for dog training. So, all right, everyone. I'm getting tired. I've been talking for hours here. Have a nice day.